If you waste any time writing client proposals, this is going to be the video for you. Whether you're a salesperson, freelancer, business owner, whatever it is, writing proposals customized to customers is a time-wasting task when you could be spending it on selling or doing things that really matter to your business. What I've created here today is I've created a AI system that's going to generate a fully personalized proposal based on who you're speaking to. It's going to include your pricing. It's going to include a timeline with instructions on each phase of that timeline. It's going to include a section for competitive insight, so it compares your client's competitors and gives recommendations based on that, and actually like promotes your service within that structure. And then it's going to do this all within 60 seconds and generate right there in your CRM. Remember, this is completely free. Check the link below. You can download this for free. This is where the magic happens. Okay, so what we're going to do to make this proposal work is we're going to use an automation. If you're new to my channel, I use Make for my automations, and I also use other platforms, but Make is a no-code software that is great. This is where the magic happens in this automation here, and this is how we piece it all together. What's happening here is, and I'm not going to show you how to build this exactly, I'm just going to go over everything that's involved. You can download this with a link below and import it into your Make account, which is completely free to sign up to, and go through it, fine tune it, make it your own. But what happens is we feed this automation, this data from our CRM, or in this case Airtable, which is my CRM, but it's not a CRM system, but your own CRM. You can use a spreadsheet, whatever it is. We feed it the customer data, and I'll get into that in a second, what we actually give it, and then it runs through this based on the data we provide it and creates a personalized proposal with that data. So let's get into the data a little bit here. So first off, obviously the company name, you just put the date, just in case you need to reference the date. Put the first, last name, website. So we're going to use the website for competitor analytics. Include the website, it's a must. But you can actually add additional fields if you want to incorporate them into the proposal. We'll get into those details shortly. I like to include a logo. It's actually going to take a screenshot of the logo, and it's going to put it on the proposal. Sounded like I said something else there. And then this is important. This is what I do, and just keep this super short. But this is company problem points. So this is the problem that your customer is experiencing, and then we're gonna word this proposal to provide a solution. So one thing to note too is keep this short, keep this in notes. AI is actually going to refine this and make this more professional and more just professional and in a way that it can be presented. So for problem, real estate business, losing sales, missed leads, not following up or tracking leads correctly, we're going to sell them a CRM system with automations. And then so service solution points, this is what we're selling. Lead follow-up system and custom AI CRM system to track leads and automate replies so no leads go missed, and sales and retention improves. We'll be able to customize. So you can give it as little or as much information as you want. AI is going to craft it in a way that looks better. It's going to make it better. It's inevitable. It's going to be better than what you write. Give it a timeline. I like to put 3-4 weeks. That's a reasonable timeline. If you want to put 1 to 2, AI is actually going to give it phases in the timeline when it produces the proposal, which you'll see shortly. And then for pricing, so I like to do 2-tier pricing. So I do a one-time payment, and then I do a more premium package, a one-time payment, and a monthly fee, which I've noted here. And that's all the fields you need. You can put industry if you want. I like to add industry, and then you can create a variable in the presentation, which I'll get into shortly. But that's all you need. You need the website, logo. Make sure the logo is an attachment, not a URL. You need a company problem points. You need service solution points, and the timeline, pricing, blah, blah. And then another thing is we have to have a trigger. So in my case, I use Airtable, and that trigger is whenever this field is selected. So whenever generate is selected, we're gonna wait in the background with that automation, and then we're gonna generate a proposal when this field's selected. When the generation is done, it's actually going to automatically change it to sent. Okay, so for this case, we need generate. You also need a modified date. That's the trigger that we set up in Make, which I'll show you separately. So this is the automation. Like I said, trigger field, modified date. So whenever it's modified, it's gonna pull that data, and it's gonna pull that record. And then I've got this formula here, which is a custom formula. Proposal status equals generate. So because I selected generate, when I run this automation, it's going to pull anything with the generate tag, and then it's going to create a proposal for that tag. So you could do this at a grand scale. You could have 5 generates and send out 5 proposals. So let's get into this automation a bit more. I'm just going to, sorry here. Okay. I'm just moving my face so I can see everything. So there's the Airtable module. Then the next thing is the AI. So OpenAI. I'm using OpenAI. Now, I'm not using GPT subscription. I'm using the API billing. So when you add an OpenAI connection, you need to provide a API key and your organization ID. And then you also need to add a credit card in your OpenAI account for the usage of OpenAI. You can add $30, $20, whatever. It will last so long. The pricing's on their website. I'm not going to get into that right now. I've covered that in many other videos. But yeah, so you can do that. You can set up that yourself. Just Google OpenAI API usage setup. So this is the context. This is the system prompt, which is context for what we're creating. So you're a proposal generating expert. You'll use the information I provide to craft a high converting proposal that allows us to generate high ticket sales. And then obviously the prompt is very, very detailed. I'm not going to read it all out here. I'm just going to read this. Download the blueprint and look through it yourself. You're going to have to customize this, or maybe you just like how I've done it and leave it the same. Totally fine. I'm creating a modular business proposal to pitch automation services based on the inputs I provide below. Generate a clear, professional, and slide-ready version of each section. Each section should be short, readable, and formatted for Google Slides. 1 to 3 short paragraphs or bullet lists max. Keep the tone confident and helpful. Please generate the following fields. Now, I'm not going to go over each field, but I have done... so for the personal intro, we'll go over that. So I've just done an example here on how to introduce or how to format the personal intro. You can format this to however you want. You can get creative in what you mention, but I just said keep it write a short 2 to 3 sentence. You got to keep it within the confines of the presentation, so don't go crazy. And then I've got the company problem points where AI will summarize that. Same with the service solutions, the timeline. It's got 8 fields here for the timeline, which you'll see why I've done that. Pricing, then I've gave it some how I want you to format the pricing. And then here's super important, only respond with raw minified JSON. Do not include explanations, markdown, code blocks, all that stuff. Do not rename, remove, or modify. I've said that just so that nothing's changed and everything stays intact. AI has a habit of changing things. So that's what you need to do. Make sure you download it, review it for your own business. But it's super simple when you review it and understand it. And then we're going to parse that. So basically, when we parse that, it's going to give me a field for each of the fields that you saw in that prompt there. And then this is a cool one. So perplexity, again, create a connection for create a connection for perplexity. That is, I just find perplexity is better at scraping the web than OpenAI, but you can use OpenAI for this. Same thing applies for the billing. You have to set up a AI account, API account, and upload a credit card. I think I've added $10 since March, so super inexpensive. Select your model, and then I'll go over the prompt here. So based on the provided company data, so these are Airtable from the Airtable fields that we created. You got your company problems, your proposed service solution. I'm just giving it this information so it has some context. You're an expert market analysis based on the company name, and website. Identify 2 direct competitors in the same niche or industry. Only select companies offering similar services and targeting similar customers. Provide their names, websites, and a short analysis of what they do well. Then, now this is important. Compare each competitor directly to our client. Explain how our client currently compares and how our proposed service solution gives them an edge, specifically how it helps them stand out against each competitor. Avoid generic statements, focus on differentiators that tie directly to what the competitors are doing. So this is very important. So what I've done is I've basically said, find two competitors and then compare my offer and why my offer is going to make them stand out versus their two, and I'm sure they know them, their two known competitors. It's kind of like I deal with a lot of clients on a day-to-day basis. When you mention something that the competitor is doing, it's almost like oh, they're doing it, well, I got to do it too, right? So super it's not it's a good tactic. It's a good sales tactic to mention competitors. That's why I've included it in this. I think it also shows that you've done your research, even though it's AI. No one needs to know it's AI, but you've done the research on the competitors, and they're like, oh yeah, shit. If they're doing it, I've got to do it. Or if this gives me a one up, then I'm gonna be more inclined to make a purchase, right? So super important that you do it like that. That's why I worded it that way. Generate a single JSON object. So we're just creating a field for this, the value of, and then I've gone into a bit of details here on what I want to include. You can change this to how you want, and then again, output rules JSON. And then also I like to do, especially for this section here, I included an example of how I want it to kind of be structured, how I want it to look. I used some home service businesses as an example. You can leave this the same when you download it. It's totally fine how it is. But this is just when I added it to the slide. It was either too long or I didn't want it too short. So this is kind of the right sizing that I wanted. So, but yeah, there's the competitive analytics done, and then it will pass that, and then this is the slide generation. So when you add, and I'll show you in a second. Actually, you know what? I'll get into that in a second. So basically, in the slideshow, you got to create variables for each of the fields in the OpenAI prompt. So these are the variables that I've created: company name, personal intro, company problem points. And I do that with just like two squiggly tags. I'll show you right here. So you do, like in the proposal, you just do two squiggly tags, company name, squiggly, and then you put that. So it's actually turned into a field here, but you put that in the slide, and I'll show you in a second, and that'll kind of come together. But these are the fields. It shows you those fields that have those squiggly lines in it, and then I've just tagged the JSON that we create in the OpenAI into those fields. Okay, and then you can see all that there. The competitor one is in there as well. Yep, competitor insight. And then that's that there. And then here is just how we upload the image. So the tag that has squiggly line client underscore logo is gonna replace that. It's gonna replace that with this URL, which is the image that I attached in the Airtable. Hope that makes sense. If you got any questions on that, leave me a comment below. I know it can be confusing if this is the first time you've seen it. And then it generates a URL, which will be then added to the Airtable, which in my case, that's my CRM. And it will tag it in the field here, and then it will change the status to sent. And that's it. So as you can see, it's actually a lot simpler than you think. It just takes some time to put it all together. But let me run this right now. I'm going to show you how fast it's done. You'll see. I'm going to do it in real time. It takes less than 60 seconds. And let's see the finished version. And I'm just going to move this a second here. Run, okay. I'm leaving this live just so you can see it. Starting. There you go. It's actually written the AI already. Parsed the data. Done the competitor insight. Parsed it. Added to the slide. Uploaded the image. Created the link. And added to Airtable. And then you see there you can see that in live. It just added that there. So let's open this up. And I'll go over the information. I'm just going to open it with Google Slides so it just looks a bit nicer. Slideshow. So there you see it, partnership proposal presentation. Now, keep in mind the design can change. You just need to have the fields. I'll show you the original document. You're going to get that included in the download link. But company name, Coldwell Banker. And this is the logo that was in the Airtable. Excuse me, that's wrong. This is the logo that was in the Airtable. This is my own information I've added here. there. So here's the intro. We partnered with over 100 plus companies, and then you notice the person's first name was Teresa. Here we go. Hi, Teresa. Thank you for considering us to help elevate Coldwell Banker's client engagement and sales outcomes. We understand your commitment to exceptional real estate service and the importance of capturing every opportunity. Blah, blah, blah. Just an intro. Refine that how you want, whatever you want to say. And then here, this is important. So this is the problem points. And as you remember, I had one tiny sentence in the problem points, and it's gone and provided all this information. So many real estate businesses face lost sales from missed leads and inefficient follow-up processes. For Coldwell Banker, maximizing every lead is essential to growing your client base and closing more deals. Excuse me. Reading is rough. We're here to address the underlying gaps in your lead tracking and nurture systems. And then it's just kind of going over their actual problems. And then obviously, next page, solutions. I'm not going to read that out, but basically that just explains why my automation solutions are great. And just a little list there of what we're going to do for them. And then this here is a variable, so it's included their name. And then here's the competitor analysis. So I'll read this because it's pretty important. But just how you stack up against your competitors. Now, of course, your AI can go a lot more involved than this and, really dig deep. There's that deep research stuff now. I just did it short and 2 little paragraphs just because I wanted it in this presentation. But you could actually make a separate PDF or a separate Word document and just go real data driven. But for now, we don't need to do that. But here we go. Royal LePage is a prominent competitor in the Canadian real estate market, known for its extensive network and legacy brand. They excel in providing comprehensive services across various regions, leveraging their long-standing reputation and attract clients, blah, blah, blah. And then comparing your business compared to Coldwell Banker, Royal LePage has a broader market presence but may lack in modern digital tools for lead management. Now, this is where the sales stuff comes in. Our proposed service solution, including lead follow-up system and an AI CRM, will give Coldwell Banker an edge by automating lead tracking and improving sales efficiency, allowing them to focus more effectively on client relations and closing deals. So we've pre-sold ourselves by comparing us to one of their competitors, and we've not done it. AI's done it. We just let them have it, So, and then it's the same thing with Zolo. Another competitor offers tech savvy, blah, 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 does the exact same thing. So AI's just done that, and we've done it in 30 seconds. And then here's the timeline. Now, this is actually formatted wrong. I don't like how that's done that. Every other version I've done is not formatted it like that. We can fix that really easy. You can just say in the title tags, make sure it's not more than 30 characters, or you can in the presentation just reduce that font size, and then it will look great. So don't worry about that. That's minor. That's the first time I've seen it. Just happens to be that way. But there you go. Look, here's the phase timeline. Looks super professional. Obviously, these minor style adjustments, who cares? You can fix that really easy. But it's gone through, analyze current lead flow and sales processes, identify high-value automations, map out automations to fit your sales cycle, provide hands-on agent training and onboarding, blah, blah, blah. I've not gave it any of this information. It's just kind of showing your client or your customer or whatever, you're not just paying us. This is what we're doing kind of thing. And AI has decided what's the best route for that. I've not gave it any context on that. I'll show you how to fix those style issues in a second. This here is just a completely static page. There's no AI generation on this at all. This is just kind of like a, what's the saying? I don't know, highlight your company's growth, metrics, awards, achievements, just kind of like a show-off page. You can put some testimonials here, a link to something, conversion rates, ranks, whatever you want to do. This is just kind of a pre-selling page here, or highlight why me kind of thing. And then pricing. So I didn't give this any context really. I just said these are my prices and this is what I want to do. Tier 1, Tier 2, starter, growth, fully installed lead follow-up automation, custom basic AI CRM for tracking leads, agent onboarding, blah, 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 $890 one time. Everything in starter plus two core sales follow-up automation systems, all this stuff, investment, one time, monthly, $450. So one thing to note is in the Airtable, I actually mentioned that I wanted to mention that you can cancel anytime, but it didn't do that here. I should have done that in the AI prompt. So if there's anything important in your pricing that you need to include, make sure to do that in the OpenAI prompt in Make. Okay. And then here's your thank you page and how to contact me. So there you have it. That's a proposal generated with AI. Super quick, super lean, super like looks amazing. Also, like keep in mind, let me show you the original as well. Let me show you the original slide here. So let's open that up real quick. So these are the ones it's generated, but this is kind of the default structure. So you can see here, this is the variables that I was talking about. This is where the data is going to be filled out. So there's personal intro, service solution points, competitor insight, and you can see on competitor insight it's a smaller font, and I've done that so it fits within that space. Here too, like what I was saying there, if you want to fix that, just reduce the size in here. So just reduce that like 12, 10, whatever, and then it will stay, whatever you feed it AI, it will stay within the confines of the style that you've set here. So in my case, they's just got to be reduced. Very minor fix. It's probably best to review every proposal anyway, but in case you missed that part. So there you go. So that would be the phase, the timeline phase there that I created. That page doesn't change. You got your pricing, and then you got your thank you. And you can see here, look, there's the price description. So these are the fields that it's just basically filling in with the AI information. And so you can adjust that, and like by all means make this better. Like this is completely free. You don't have to do anything. Make this better than what I've got it here. And then one other cool thing is if you go to templates, you can switch out any of these templates. So you don't have to use this dark template. You can use something that's maybe a bit more appealing or a bit more something on your wavelength of design. But yeah, look, like there's no limit. Look at all these pages you can create. Just this is the structure, right? This is the thing that makes it work. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I've covered everything here. So, I mean, now you've got a proposal system that can generate proposals in less than 60 seconds. You just got to fine tune it. You got to put in that couple of hours of work getting it ready. But once you're set, you're literally just going to be hitting buttons, pumping out proposals, doing deep research, and saving time for things that are more important, like selling and speaking to people and all that stuff. So hope you like this. If you need help setting this up, I will offer this as a service to set up, and take a look at the links below. Anything that interests you, leave a comment below. If you like any additional videos or want to learn or want to enhance this and have certain features, leave me a comment below and I'll see about making a video and adding those features. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.